know why I feel this way. Every day I wanna run away. I think I'll go back to that place I stay. Play on the server the TimeShot way.
Hello, people. It's Poet, and we're back on TimeShot. Now, I am still out in one of the wintry biomes after looking for a polar bear. That's how long it's been since I logged onto the server, and I haven't logged on since. Now, as you guys know, I'm sure most of you guys know, maybe not most, but probably a good majority of you guys who watch TimeShot know, Edson on one of his streams did go and find one of the polar bears. He did find a polar bear, and he found it. I went to his stream. I'm trying to take full credit for it, as you can tell. I'm trying to take absolutely full credit, because I went to one of his streams, and he was looking for a polar bear, and I told him, like, listen, if the polar bear is going to be anywhere, it's going to be in this biome at this spot, and I actually even gave him the coordinates. So I kind of helped him there. He was going to check it anyway. I know that he probably was. But he went there, and right away, it wasn't very long. It didn't take him very long whatsoever. He found a polar bear. He and everyone else kind of assumes that it's the only one on the server. Me, I don't know. I have no idea if it's the only one on the server. I kinda almost want to go in the direction of that ice spikes biome that he was at, and see if we can find it. Now, actually, to get to that ice spikes biome, it's probably closer if I were to go through that ice spikes biome and then just kind of travel across, because they're actually, I think, they're kind of on the same area of the map, more or less. Like, they're not beside each other, but they're not too far from each other either. So I could have probably gotten there from there. But either way, long story short, he found a polar bear. He had I think a fan voting where they gave him suggestions, and then he put them into a straw poll or something like that, or he randomly picked one. I don't know. I wasn't around for the naming. And it ended up being named Polar Tendo. I have not actually seen it in person yet, so I'm going to be checking that out. So what's been going on? Oh, it's been a lot of work like crazy. I mean, I wanted to stream regularly every Thursday, and already I've missed a Thursday. I streamed then on the Friday, the day after. But, you know, it was just kind of life issues hashtag, where Wyn was sick, like with the flu, kind of sick, and we hadn't had a lot of time to talk to each other that day, and I was just busy with other YouTube stuff and could not do the stream. There was just no time in my day to do the stream. I was uploading because I had gotten videos out late. YouTube was acting up, and so I just could not stream. And I realized pretty quickly that that's a thing that I really have to maybe get used to. Is, you know, either I have to set a schedule for the day before I stream to get videos out so that there's absolutely no problem. But even at that, there are going to be times where, you know, I just can't stream. And kind of in the same vein as I run my YouTube channel here, my streaming channel, which is also on YouTube, for my streaming, I'm not going to run a schedule 100% of the time. Like, if it just doesn't work for me, then that's that. It doesn't work. So this is it. This is the entrance to the cave. This is cool. I like the little icicles hanging down. Hi, Polar Tendo. Cousin of mine. A polar bear. So we found the polar bear. Here, let me get a good shot. Oh, this looks so cool. I like this area. Some of the blocks are melting. I don't know if that's like, if it was supposed to be that way. Oh, it might have supposed to be that way. I don't know. Now I don't know. Now I feel like I broke that for nothing. Okay, let's leave it like that. He has a little waterfall down there. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be, and not just melted ice. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Anyway, there's the polar bear. That's pretty cool. I like that. Got a little frozen biome here at spawn. Oh, that's really sweet. And what makes it special is that might actually be the only polar bear on the entire server. Which is something that, you know, when we have our reset of the map, whenever that's going to happen, then things like that won't be as hard to find. Like, keep in mind that we are still, for the most part, under the older generation of the map. Like, we don't have granite and diorite and andesite in most of this spawn area and in most of our base areas, unless we started building really late. People like Mara might, and I know that Wyn does, and Anasia probably does. I'm not sure who else might have like the newer biome generation, but really, it's when we reset, things like that won't be as difficult to find, and things like polar bears won't be very rare anymore. So it's kind of a little bit special in a way, having a polar bear on the server right now. A little bit special. And so props to Edson for going out there and getting it. But the most important aspect of getting it was actually delivering it to spawn. And that's something that I actually did kind of tune in and watch a little bit on his stream. And it was kind of fun to watch, because I thought he would fail so bad. And there were some sometimes when, yeah, he came very close to failing, I feel. But he did it, so GG. I don't know how many of these I need. We're going to do a quick donation thing. And thank you so much to the people who have donated over the last few months especially. I don't talk about it very much, and I hate talking about it, and when I end up talking about these kinds of things in episodes, I almost go so far as to deleting the entire episode. Anytime that I start talking about my financial situation and things like that, I just don't like talking about it. I don't like feeling like I'm begging or that I am so desperate that I can't survive without it. But the honest truth is, yeah, I really honestly can't survive without it. So I appreciate it so much. All of these donations that have come in recently. Oh, wood. I don't ever bring down the wood. I always forget. I love these little end rod things. What are they called? I don't remember what they're called. Don't have any spruce here. Should go get some, I guess. Oh, I should tell you guys, because I haven't touched upon this in a long time, this room here. Man, this kind of looks cool. What I would probably do now, and it's much easier to obtain, is change the lava out for probably the magma blocks. I know that it's not quite the whole fire and ice type of liquid water and lava aspect. But there's the thing. That was what I was going to get to. I kind of jumped ahead there. Is that one side could be magma, the other side could be like packed ice, and then it would be kind of fire and ice. So that would still work out, and I think it would still look good. I did actually change out some lava for magma blocks already. And you can see that right there. And from afar, it still looks kind of like lava. And it still kind of pulsates, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So it still looks like it pulsates a little bit. It looks cool. It glows. And the nice thing about it is that it does not burn you when you touch it from the side. Look at that. Look at that. I can walk right up to it. It doesn't burn you. And the second thing is that it does not set wood on fire. I think I said that before too. But I can put this right beside here and it will not set the wood on fire no matter how long you let it sit there. And it does give you some fire damage. I'm going to just take those off. Take off all of this. It does impact the durability of items. And this is, my durability on here is 2. So, ouch. It gives you burning damage, but you don't get set on fire. That's the other thing that I wasn't sure of. But there you go. So, I've already replaced that with the magma blocks, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to replace the little cobble wall that was there. But I lost them into the lava when I started digging. So, it is what it is. But it looks not bad, right? It looks not bad. Building with this magma block is going to be something that I try to do a little bit more, especially in our next season of TimeShot, which I already have some ideas spinning around in my head on what I want to build. That's way too much. What am I doing? I should actually just bring some, though, like a stack down there, though. Anyway, I wanted to also say, in regards to that Patreon room, which I didn't get to. I got distracted by the magma blocks. But I one of my patron rewards, this is something that I'm sure if you've looked at my patron page, my Patreon page, you can do so now. You don't have to pledge anything to go look at it, and just see kind of what rewards people get for donating. One of the ones that they get is for one of the higher amounts, they get to build something in TimeShot world, or I build whatever they want me to build in the TimeShot world, right? So I haven't done any of that, and there is a good reason for it. It is largely because of us resetting TimeShot in the not so distant future. So I didn't want to like do all these builds. Man, I went all the way over there to get some spruce, and I turn around and look, and there's 5 logs right there. Perfect. Whatever. I'll just put these in a chest somewhere, right there, and they'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, in no small part, me not building those things is because of the reset, and also because as a sign of respect to the other people on the server. Because a lot of them, I don't know if you guys know this, but we actually have some policies for building on TimeShot. Nothing special, nothing strict, but things like, no pixel art and no, try to follow more or less a similar style to the people around you, and, don't make things look ugly on purpose unless it's part of like the storyline. And like there's different elements that we kind of have. I feel maybe the other members aren't even aware of this, but it is the case. Anyway, let's quickly get these done. April, obviously member of TimeShot here. She donated $20 at my last stream. I actually have on my stream a little goal amount. I forget what the goal is set to. I think it's about $600 or so, which is the bare minimum for a flight. And that's just the flight cost to go see my fiance Wyn. And April sent me $20 and said, recently she was able to go and live with the love of her life. And so she hopes that helps me get to mine. And so that is super appreciated. Thank you so much. We got one here from Carlos S. And the amount is $10, and there was no message whatsoever. So as I always say and remind you guys, such as that one and well, that's about it. When you use your real name, if that's not the name that you want, then just send me a message on YouTube along with the email address you used on PayPal, and I will sort it out. You know, tell me what message you want me to say, what username you want on there instead, and I'll do my best to remember, you know, whatever name it was. But thank you so much. I don't think this one came in during a live stream, but it might have. I feel like the live stream page doesn't tell me all of the ones that come through, so I'm having to be like super vigilant in seeing what comes in and remembering to thank people from it. So this one is from wait, where's the name? There's the name. It's from V is all that I will say. $20. And this was actually kind of a split, because they sent me a message and it said they apologized they couldn't donate more, which that's fine. I mean, thank you so much for even $20 is a lot to me. So seriously, thank you. But they said $10 for me, $10 for Wyn. I think just as a thank you kind of thing. And that was super appreciated. So thank you so much. $10 for me, $10 for Wyn. I'm putting it all in one sign. Okay, and this one, I don't think this one came in from the stream either, but I'm going to put down, like, I'm stuttering now, but the donation came in under his normal, like, human name. You know what I mean? But I'm going to put down this instead. Everyone Comics. And he's an artist, a webcomic artist who does amazing work. I've actually, I remember when he followed me on Twitter for the first time, and I saw his just the name and the icon and whatever, and I was like, ooh, webcomic artist. Because I like webcomics. Webcomics, to me, are where it's at, and it's where it's been at for a long time. I've always liked webcomics. It's what really got me into the whole penny arcade scene. I used to watch or read things like VG Cats and 8-Bit Theater and, you know, things like that. Retro webcomics like that, if you can call them retro webcomics now. But and Penny Arcade was one of them too. And so I have a deep respect and love for webcomics. And so when I saw that he was a webcomic artist, I right away was already on his website looking around, browsing. Anyway, he donated some money also. So thank you so much for that. Let's see, what am I going to do? I got to get some steaks. And then I'm actually going to go. I'm not sure which direction to go in. But we're going to go and see if I can find. Aha. We're going to see if I can find some more polar bears. It sounds stupid. It sounds ridiculous. Because Edson already found one. And I think he looked around fairly well. But I feel like... I don't know. I just feel like it could be better. I'm not sure what the coordinates are, though. I think... Yeah, I don't know. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the ice spikes biome that we have a portal to. And then what I'm gonna do then is just walk in the direction that I think that it is in and hope for the best. Sound like a good idea? Sounds like a terrible idea to me, but whatever, we're gonna do it. And we're going to see if maybe we can find another polar bear. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about... oh, yeah, I didn't finish that talk. I got into the donations. Let me first say about the Patreon thing. Yeah, there was the reasons that I wasn't Where am I going? The reasons I wasn't going to build those giant statues in the world was sort of a sign of respect to the other people on TimeShot, and because of the world reset, which will happen eventually, and I didn't want to lose all that stuff right after building it. It would be unfair. So I'm going to wait. But then I realized, wait a minute, I have the perfect opportunity and venue for it. The patron server. Like, it's the perfect spot to give thanks to the patrons, because not only can I, give thanks to them by building something for them, but then they can also go out to that area and see the thanks that I've given them, like in person, and other people can see that too. So that's what I think I'm going to do instead. With my own personal space on the patron server, I'm probably going to be building those monuments, those builds that the patrons wanted me to build. So that's what I've pretty well decided to do. And in regards to that whole patron hall thing, that giant tube with the lava and water coming down, I'm probably going to be doing something similar. Like, I'm not going to do it on the patron server, but I'm going to be waiting until the new server before I start putting things in there, because it doesn't make sense for me to give thanks to the patrons in there and then have to tear it all down and restart it all. So I do have a list of everyone's names. They will get recognition in there eventually. So yeah, patience to the patrons out there watching, but you'll get it. You'll get it. Don't worry. I got you. What else? Okay. So today, I wanted to tell you guys what I've been working on today. I woke up pretty early for me, and I decided that I was going to start working on my house a little bit. My house has become increasingly difficult to afford. I'm not going to get really into the details too much, but basically I can't afford to live here anymore. That's just a fact of life. And it has, something to do with the fact that I'm paying for two houses now, basically, with Wynn's house and my house. And it adds up to the point where, if YouTube was doing better, then it wouldn't be an issue. But because it isn't, I just simply cannot afford this house. So what's the solution? Obviously, the solution is to sell this house and move to a smaller house that you can afford, right? Of course. Unfortunately, like all my rental projects that I started, see, here's the thing. And I'm going to give you guys kind of like full disclosure, personal details types of things. But essentially, when I bought this house, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, 4 years ago now, I think. And it was right before I started doing YouTube full time. At that time, I had a full-time job and a steady paycheck, and I could afford it. I could afford this house. I'd be left, there would be some months where it would be a little bit tight, and I knew that. But then YouTube was starting to take off, and I was making quite a big amount of money just on my own without having a full-time job. And so that was kind of the time where I decided, you know what, we're gonna stop doing our full-time job, or we're gonna stop doing YouTube. One of them has to go, because the stress is just like, I couldn't do both. I know that a lot of people do both. But personally, putting out the content that I was, which was about, at that time I was doing about 3 videos a day, and I still sometimes do 3 videos a day. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but I was averaging about 3 videos a day then, and it was just too difficult, because I would wake up as a manager in IT where I was. It was essentially me waking up at sometimes 5, 6 in the morning and I would be at the office for about 7 o'clock before anyone else got there, and then I would leave at night. Where else? Everybody else would leave at 5. I would stay till about 6, sometimes 7, just fixing things up, working, getting caught up so that there would be less work for everybody tomorrow. Kind of deal, you know? That's what managers do. When you're a manager, or maybe this is just my work ethic, is that, you know, I feel like it's my responsibility, so I better do the best job that I can do. And I swear to God, if I saw some sheep right now, they'd be dead and I'd be sleeping, and this whole rainy, dark night would be gone. Hi, creeper. No sheep. I think this is the right way. I don't know why I think this is the right way, but I just feel like it must be. So this is the way that I'm going to go. Yeah, this is the way. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Actually, I'm not sure. I could be going in the opposite direction, but I don't feel like I am. Either way, I was at the office for obscene amount of hours every day. Where most people work an 8-hour shift, I was working 9-10 hours and every day. So, you know, working 50 plus hours a week is not fun. You know, it's just not it's not fun. That's all there is to it. And to have to come home at 7 o'clock, I get home by about 7, 6:37, and then have to put in sometimes 3 or 4 hours into YouTube and then some. It was just impossible. It was getting to be ridiculous. Like, I didn't have any off time at that point because I was working. Like, YouTube is fun. I love doing it. It's video games, you know, not the hardest thing in the world, even I'll admit, but it's still work, and you still face the same kind of stress, and you face the same kind of deadlines, and you face the same kind of pressure and all of that. And it was, at the end of the day, I'd have worked 14, 15 hours of pressure, stress, work, dedication, 15 hours, and in all that time I'd have like an hour for lunch to myself, and that would be it. And most days I'd work through lunch. So it was kind of getting ridiculous, and we reached the breaking point where we said, okay, you know what, one's got to go. What's it going to be? Luckily for me, I was making more money on YouTube than I was in my day job. I can't believe that's the case, but it was the case. And I was very, very fortunate for that to be the case. Almost nobody else can say that. And I say almost nobody else. I mean, there are some large YouTubers out there who definitely can afford to do it full time. But out of all of my friends who make YouTube videos, all of my friends who I have recorded with, who I do recordings with, there's maybe only, I'm going to say 2, 3, maybe 3 who make YouTube videos full time. 3 out of all my friends on YouTube. And of course, I'm talking mostly about the people who support themselves, who can support themselves and do what they do without financial help from any other source, including parents, including spouses, and so on. I'm thinking maybe 3 people out of everybody who I know on YouTube personally. And to me, whoa, my resource pack is a little bit messed up right now. Let's see what. Eh? I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, craft that. Man, this is messed up. I gotta fix that. Video setting, no, not video settings. Options, resource packs. Aha. There we go. Mr. Vizzy something there or other. Thank you so much. This works now. Yes. Okay. Place this down. Place that. Place that. Give me a bed. Give me a bed. What? Block of iron? That is not... Well, it'd be a very, very tough bed. There we go. But anyway, there weren't a lot of people doing YouTube, so I was very fortunate that I could do that. And I quit my day job, and I started doing YouTube. And affording this house was not an issue. I was making enough not only to support myself, but very confidently to support Wyn and my family, my new family, you know, my soon-to-be stepchildren. I was very confident saying, you know, like, Wyn, why are you working? It doesn't make sense. You know, I'm making enough money now that we can support myself and you and the kids, and that's really all that I care about. I don't care about making any additional money to that. As long as I can support us and the family, that's all that I ever cared about. And at the end of the day, if I broke even at the end of the month, that would be fine, as long as I was supporting both of us and it was working out. But like within the last year, you can actually even go on like a site like Social Blade or something, and in the last year you can see visually 1 year ago today I was making the most I ever was on YouTube. 1 year later I'm making almost the lowest that I've made on YouTube, and that 1 year difference is just crazy. But like I'm not really complaining. Like this is not what I want this video to be. I don't want this to be like me ranting that oh, I'm struggling and you guys have to support me. No, that's not what this is about. I'm just laying out the facts, because we're talking about my house, and I'm getting back to that. I'm giving you the realistic bottom line and why things are happening and why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I'm talking the way I'm talking. You know what I mean? I'm going to actually go towards the border, I think, because I feel like I'm going to miss the ice biome if I haven't already, though I don't think that I have. I want to at least walk along the border, because then I'll have an idea, I think, of where it is, because I think it connects to the border. Nobody's been in this area before. Water falling down for the first time in its life. There you go. Cool. I love watching that. I love seeing that when the water falls down for the first time. Very cool. Cascading. So where was I? Oh yeah. So at the end of the day, I was able to afford everything at that time. A year later, 1 year later, and even just like a few months later, it's like 1 month you're fine, and then virtually the next month you're not. And that's a scary thought. And that's why a lot of people don't quit their day jobs, even if they are doing YouTube, because it's such an insecure thing. It's not secure. And especially if you have a family to provide for. If suddenly your job tomorrow isn't paying anything, it's not like you can just suddenly go out and get a job and fix that. Especially when it's YouTube, because YouTube is a social thing. YouTube is a thing that you have to maintain constantly. And if you don't, then people will abandon you. It's no offense to anybody, but like, if I were to stop making videos for a month, I would come back a month later, and I can guarantee you that almost none of my viewers would still be watching. And that's just the way that people, human nature, you know, I'm the same way. If if I was watching someone and they suddenly stop doing what they're doing and then come back, I've already moved on. I've already, not that I've lost interest necessarily, but I think that I've found other things to fill that void, and then I would have to pick and choose, and I'm going to pick the most reliable person out there, you know, not the guy who left for a month. So that's why, like, when it comes to YouTube, it's not like you can just stop and say, okay, well, I need to go get a real job, and then I'll come back to YouTube later. It just doesn't work that way. I've never seen it work that way with anybody, and I don't think that it will work that way. So it's scary. It's scary. All of a sudden, one day, you've got nothing to support yourself. And that's basically what happens in my case right now, is that 1 month I was fine. The next month, I'm in debt. And it's a scary, scary, scary thought. I didn't ever want to be in this kind of a situation. And I still don't want to be in this situation. I'm trying to fix it the best I can. And one of those ways is to sell my house, I feel. It was a much bigger house than I really originally was going to buy. But again, like, I was working full time. I was also doing YouTube. I could easily afford it. I actually had aspirations. I was going to rent out the upstairs of this house to my brother and his girlfriend. And they were going to pay me a rent every month. And he decided, after I had bought the house, basically that wasn't going to be an option for him, that he, being a musician, makes too much noise anyway, and that it just wouldn't be enjoyable for both parties. So I agreed and decided that I would turn the upstairs into an office, which I did. And then the office, well, basically I still have an entire upstairs that is empty completely. I use it for storage. I use it for, like, there's a reading area that I've got. But honestly, it's a waste of space. And not only is it a waste of space, but I pay for it because I'm paying higher taxes. My mortgage is higher. And my electricity bill is higher. Like, I got to heat that area. I got to cool that area. And it adds up. Having a bigger house than you need, it adds up in a lot of ways. So that has to change, and I know that. So what happened is I bought this house. We're kind of stepping back a little bit. I bought the house. I had plans to rent out the upstairs. That's fine. But it did need a lot of work. This house needed a lot of work. I got a pretty good deal on it when I bought it, but I knew that it needed a lot of work. And I'm a handy guy. I am kind of the jack of all trades type of person, where there's nothing that I can't fix. A lot of people have taken advantage of me for this reason, in like, hey, come out and fix my toaster because my toaster's broken. You know, what do I know about toasters? But I'll figure it out and I'll fix it. But that's kind of the way that it goes with, like, home repair and stuff. Like, today, for example, and this is where this whole conversation started, I was installing a door. I was installing a door frame and a door in my bathroom downstairs. And it's just cosmetics. It's just cosmetics. There's no reason to replace the door that was there now, except that it looked like it was from the 60s, and I wanted to change it. That was it. So a year or two ago, it's at least a year, possibly edging on 2 years now, I bought this door. And it's been sitting in my dining room, just leaning against the wall, for almost 2 years now. And I finally, today, I woke up, I looked at that door, and I said, you know what? I'm going to install it. And that took, oh, man, it's so difficult. Because, of course, you buy a door at the store, and there's fixed size, and you look at the door that you've got that you're removing, and it's 3 inches smaller, and it's just ridiculous, because then I've got to do all this grunt work, ripping out boards, ripping out nails, ripping out all these kinds of things, And it took me about 4 or 5 hours, and I'm only half done now. I'm only half done after 5 hours, because all I've got to work with is a screwdriver, a hammer, and a crowbar, and that's it. And I'm ripping out these boards that they were nailed in. Eh? 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 What is this? Anyway, these boards were nailed in 100 years ago. I'm not even kidding you. My house is 100 years old, and these nails look like they were smelted by a blacksmith. Like they're super large, insane nails that I'm having to work with and rip out by hand. My hands are now covered in blisters. I'm exhausted, covered in dust, because this house 100 years ago was coal powered, like not powered, but heated, coal heated. They had a coal furnace, not coal furnace really, but like a coal chute. They shoveled in the coal and heated the house that way. So yeah, it was a coal furnace. And I don't know, everything is covered in this black soot. Everything is just messy, dirty, disgusting. I'm just covered in it. I'm itchy all over because of it. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a lot of work. And I know, is it worth it? See, when I first moved in, it was my father, actually, who kind of convinced me that these projects wouldn't be much of an issue. And in fact, he was the one who convinced me of this by saying things like, oh, well, you know, we're going to do this, and we are going to do that, and we are going to do the other thing. And it won't take us very long, you know. The operative words being we and us. And what happened is, it seems like after my mother and he got divorced, or separated, got divorced, it seems to me like he has distanced himself very, very, very substantially from not only me but the rest of the family. And I don't quite understand why. Because him and I were fairly close for a long time. We were always going to car shows together, working on cars together, doing home rental projects like that together. And just, you know, we'd always have a lot in common and would talk about a lot of common things. We had the same love for hockey. And that was kind of the way that it was between him and I. But since him and my mother broke up, when they split, he seems to have like completely not abandoned, because he does come over the odd time. But usually when he comes over to my place, he'll like quickly drop something off that he wants to store here, and then he'll just go. And it's like not even time to say hello type of thing. He'll just drop it off and then leave. The other day he came by, he dropped off some supplies so that I could work on my basement, and a table saw that I needed, and he was gone before I could even see him. The most I saw, I went outside to say hi, and he was already driving away. Like he was already pulling away out of my driveway. And so it was kind of like, what the heck, man? Like, I need help on my house, you know, and I can't afford to hire someone. It was supposed to be a project that him and I were going to do together. And it turned into just me doing it. And it's not like I have all the home reno experience in the world. I do what I can, but there's a lot that I don't know and I haven't learned. And it really is a humongous learning curve. For example, like, I don't know how to really install a door today, but I'm going to do it. I have to do it because I had to stop relying on him to help me out, which is so unfortunate to say, and it's sad to say, but I just can't rely on him anymore. And like, even my mother, who hates his guts, you know, they don't like each other, but like, even my mother is shocked at the way that he's behaving. In that, like, what happens is, like, he will say to me, like, oh, I'll come over on Monday and help you install, you know, whatever. And Monday will come and go, and that's that. And I don't even expect it anymore. I don't expect that he will be there for me anymore. And that's the really unfortunate thing about it, is that when I need him the most to fix up this house so that I can sell it, flip it, sell it, get rid of it, he's not there. And all of those talks about we and us fixing up this house to get it ready to sell, it's just come down to me, just me. And a lot of these projects I had been putting off and waiting on because I didn't know how to do half the jobs that I was supposed to do. But now I'm forced to learn, and I'm forced to do it. In a way, that's kind of always been the way that my life has been. You know, I've never relied on my parents for anything. Everything that I've ever owned in my life, I've bought myself. All my education was paid for by myself. And that's just the way that I was raised. That's the way that I was treated. And that's the way that I am continuing to be treated, even when I could really, really use the help. So am I surprised? No. Can I do it on my own? Yes. But it's such a crappy job. And the more I'm in this house without things like that getting finished, like this door that I was installing today, the more things are like that, the less I'm going to actually, or the slower it's going to be before I can finally move to at least a smaller house and then afford to move to Michigan to be with Wyn. A common question we get asked a lot is who's going to move where, and because of her custody with her children, I have to move to the United States, which is something that we both know and have prepared for. But it's one of those things where, you know, I just have no money right now to do it, and it's so crappy that money is such a big deal. You know, like the application fee, it's so difficult. I don't get this. Okay, this is going to be my only time really that I rant about this, but if you want to move to Canada, say you're an American and you want to move, there's another polar bear. Rant, stop. There's another polar bear. There's a cub bear. Oh, there's a cub. Cub. This might attack me when I get near the cub. And they're fast. There are plenty of polar bears here now. Little baby cub, and that's the screenshot I want. Okay, I'm gonna get getting close. Don't kill me. Don't murder me. I think I got a good screenshot. I'm not sure. Hi, little cubby. I got a screenshot of their butts. Oh, they're so cute. They're so adorable. I'm going to get another view. Let me just look out over here. Do I see any others? There's another one. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. There's at least another 3 here that I've seen now. And I still feel like I'm not doing justice to the search for polar bears. There's probably more out here. There's a crafting table right there. Edson was right here, and he didn't see these other 3. But that's fine. That's great. I mean, I've found more polar bears. If people want polar bears, they know where to get them. I should almost make a portal here for the nether, and then see if we can get a pathway. Might be a decent idea. Hi, little 2. They're not attacking. I wonder if it's because I'm just far enough away now. I'm not sure. Oh, there's... That one has a cub too. This one has a cub too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Work it for the camera, baby. That is so awesome, the shots. It's okay. 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 I wasn't going to touch your baby. It's all right. It's all right. Whew. Bunnies everywhere. Just exploded. Yeah. Okay, my rant. What I was going to say is if you want to move to Canada, I kid you not, you just have to, like, it's basically a form. You fill out a form, and then it's like, oh, you want to live in Canada? All right. Come here and work, you know. That'd be great. Have fun while you're here. Fill out a form. Number 1, do you have a high school education? You do? Great. Number 2, can you speak some English or some French? Yes? Okay, great. Welcome to Canada. You live here now. Like, that's essentially as hard as it is. Of course, I'm very, very much, what is it? Come on, it is night. Come on. I'm very much, saying that you can move to Canada for nothing, but it is a little bit harder than that, yes. But essentially, the bare minimum is that you need to know French or English and have a decent education, and you can come and live in Canada. Like, there's no real restrictions. If you want to move to the United States, you can't. Period. You cannot live in the United States unless you have like a really super awesome job in the United States. But the only way you can get one of those jobs is if they've completely searched the entire U.S. market and still can't fill that position. Okay, then you can hire a Canadian or someone from wherever else. And then even then, you have to have your job renew every 6 months on a visa, and there's a chance you could get kicked out in that time. And if you don't get kicked out and you finally can get permanent residency, if you've been there for like 2 or 3 years, and then you get kicked out, so what you instead have to do, you have to quickly file for citizenship. And it's just like it's so difficult. That's the work method. Now, the marriage method, you can't just go and get married in a church somewhere and call it a day. You could, but that would be dumb. And the reason is, if you did, the government of the United States would basically say your marriage is a fraud. You were just marrying that girl to get into the country. Kindly leave and never come back. And that's good luck convincing them that you have a relationship online and that you love each other and that you want to be with each other forever when you just go and elope somewhere and get married. It just doesn't work that way. So you have to pay fees. You have to pay for a fiance visa. Fiance visa makes it possible so that I can go to the United States and get married, and then I have something like 3 months where I can stay there to file the rest of the paperwork, to finalize the marriage, and once that marriage is finalized, then Wyn submits a different form to let me stay there forever. Okay, so that's the basic process. And you have to do that. Otherwise, they will scrutinize it and say, we don't believe you that you love each other. You're just trying to get into the country. Otherwise, you would have gone through all these other hoops, jumped through hoops. It's kind of their way of testing you to prevent fraudulent marriages, because I'm sure fraudulent marriages do happen, you know. Marry someone abroad and then just go and live there and dump them. So to avoid that, they make you pay, and you pay, and you pay, and you pay. Because the fiance visa is about $350. And someone on Wynn's stream actually donated this. And it was amazing. And we were super happy about it. And so when we went to go file for it, we realized, wait a minute, once we file for this, it doesn't allow me to stay there forever. It's just 3 months. And then we have to file this other form, which is over $1,000. And then the marriage license is about $200. And then the flights there is going to be about $600. So at the very least right now, I want to sell this house and save up my money. Wynn has now started a part-time job, and that pains me so much because I feel like I have failed not only her, but her children in not being able to provide for them. And so here's the case, is that I'm trying to sell my house. I'm trying to work on my house so that I can sell it. Once I sell it, I'll move into a smaller house, save up my money, eventually be able to afford that whole marriage licensing and fee process, which will take probably about $2,000 total. And that's being very, 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 very conservative with my amount. And then I've got still all my other bills to pay every month. So it's just, right now it's being pretty crazy. That's why Wynn has now taken a part-time job. And I might even have to do the same. But it's crazy, this kind of stuff going on. And it all hinges on me fixing things like this door that I've been doing today. Man, crazy, crazy, crazy. All of it's crazy. And yet here I am, still working on YouTube, swimming in a boat on TimeShot. So I think I'm going to end the episode there. Thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to update you guys on life, my life in general, what's going on right now, what the situation has been. And yeah, that's it. That's really it. Don't want you guys to feel bad, though. I mean, don't feel bad. That's not my point. I don't feel bad, so you guys shouldn't either. But again, I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me and Wynn. We don't expect it. It's just super amazing to see the support from the community, and thank you so much. Again, I'll be seeing you guys next time on TimeShot. Like this video, comment below, do all those other awesome things that people do, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.